Welcome back to the Business Book Club. We're here again to dive deep into some really transformative ideas. Today, we are tackling an absolute giant in the personal development space, a book that's guided, well, millions. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. You know the one. How to take immediate control of your mental, emotional, physical, and financial destiny. So this deep dive, it's really all about getting to grips with this core idea that we determine our outcomes, our decisions, not our circumstances. It's kind of a shortcut to understanding how you can take those dreams, those invisible things, and actually make them real. Visible, tangible.
Yeah, and what's really compelling, I think, is how Robbins just directly challenges that common feeling that, well, external stuff controls us. He basically says, look, everything that happens, good or bad, it starts with the decision you made or didn't make. And if you really take that on board, it's incredibly empowering. It means you, listening right now, you actually have the power to grab the reins, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, right now.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The power of decision. That's central, isn't it?
Yeah.
He makes this really key distinction between being just interested in something and being truly committed.
Yes, that's huge. A real decision, he says, means you cut off any other possibility. It's like burning the boats.
Taking a stand. Yes.
Exactly. And he gets specific about what these decisions are, the ones that really shape your destiny, regardless of your past or what's happening now. There are three key ones. First, what you choose to focus on. Where does your attention go?
Correct.
Second, what things mean to you. How do you interpret events?
Right. The meaning you assign.
And third, what you actually choose to do about it, the actions you take to get the results you want.
Focus, meaning, action. Got it.
That's those three.
And he has that image, doesn't he, of what happens when we don't decide consciously. Like being in a boat 5 feet from Niagara Falls.
Yeah. No oars.
No oars.
Yeah.
Just drifting. He says people dabble their way through life, never really mastering anything.
Majoring in minor things.
Majoring in minor things. That hits home for entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. Getting bogged down on the small stuff instead of the big defining decisions.
Absolutely. And, that brings up this interesting point about having the courage to make, what might seem like the wrong decision sometimes. Think about Thomas Edison. He saw every wrong attempt as just another step forward.
Yeah, data gathering.
Exactly. Or Mr. Honda. After that gasoline shortage, facing failure after failure, no money, he just kept going, built a global empire.
Incredible story.
It shows that, good judgment often comes from experience. And a lot of that experience comes from, frankly, bad judgment initially. You learn by making mistakes.
That's so true in business. You pivot based on what didn't work.
Precisely.
And this really connects to something crucial for anyone running a business or just, navigating life. How often our quick fixes, our short-term solutions end up causing long-term problems. He tells that Billy Joel story. On the brink, facing huge setbacks. But then he made that long-term commitment to his music.
Right, and found incredible success.
Yeah, realizing that God's delays are not God's denials. That really speaks to that entrepreneurial grit, doesn't it? Pushing through the immediate pain for the bigger vision.
It absolutely does. And if you dig into why we make these decisions, the good and the bad, Robbins brings it back to two primal forces. Everything we do, he argues, is driven by the need to avoid pain and the desire to gain pleasure. Simple as that, really.
Avoid pain, gain pleasure.
Think about it. Someone like Donald Trump versus Mother Teresa. Totally different values, different actions, right?
They're opposites, yeah.
But he'd say they're both driven by that same fundamental engine. They just associate pain and pleasure with vastly different things.
Okay, so it's about our associations. And he talks about how these neural associations get formed, right? These connections in our brain.
Exactly. It's not just theory. He uses personal examples, like his mother making him drink that whole 6-pack of beer to create a massive pain association.
Oof, yeah. I remember reading that.
Or exposing his kids to the harsh realities of drug use. It's about linking intense pain or intense pleasure to specific things, physically wiring it into our nervous system.
Advertisers are masters at this, aren't they?
Oh, constantly. They condition us. Think about like Michael Jackson and Pepsi back in the day.
Yeah, iconic.
Or the idea that driving a certain car, a BMW maybe, makes you extraordinary. They link their product to our fantasies, our desires for pleasure.
We're taught, often without realizing it, use this, feel that.
Exactly. But here's the trap, especially in business. We often focus so much on avoiding the short-term pain, the discomfort of making that tough call or having that difficult conversation.
Right, the path of least immediate resistance.
And that almost always creates much bigger long-term pain down the road. He gives the example of banks making risky loans because, well, federal insurance meant there wasn't enough immediate pain for the banker making the decision.
Hmm. That's a powerful example. It makes you ask, what short-term fears are controlling us? Like, maybe the fear of rejection stopping you from launching that new service.
Or fear of failure keeping you stuck in a strategy that isn't working. What pain are you avoiding now that's setting you up for bigger pain later?
It's a crucial question. So, okay, this leads into what he calls the master system, right? The framework for how we evaluate everything.
Yeah, the master system. It's basically the 5 things that filter how we interpret reality. And at the very core of it all are beliefs. With a capital B, he explains beliefs as, well, generalizations about our past experiences, often formed without us even realizing it, maybe based on misunderstandings. But we treat them like solid facts, like reality itself.
And the impact
Yeah.
is huge. He talks about how beliefs can literally make us sick or healthy. That whole field of psychoneuroimmunology.
Psychoneuroimmunology, yeah. It sounds complex, but it's just the science of how your thoughts and feelings directly affect your nervous system and your immune system.
Right. Like Norman Cousins, who showed that a patient's belief could be even more powerful than the actual medicine.
Exactly. Which really highlights the danger of limiting labels we might adopt, I'm learning disabled, or I have this disease. If you internalize that belief too rigidly.
It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Precisely.
So how do we form these powerful beliefs? He uses that metaphor, the tabletop.
Ah, yes. The tabletop metaphor. An idea, he says, is like a tabletop with no legs. It's just floating there, not very stable.
Okay.
But when you start adding legs, which are references, experiences, evidence that support the idea, then it becomes a solid belief, a sturdy table you can put weight on.
That makes sense. Like with Roger Bannister and the 4-Minute Mile. Everyone believed it was impossible.
It was considered a physical barrier. But once Bannister broke it, his certainty, his belief becoming reality, created this powerful new reference point.
And then suddenly, loads of others did it within a year.
37 others. It wasn't that human physiology changed overnight. The belief about what was possible changed. That's huge for any business trying to break through perceived limits.
Absolutely. So if we want to build strong, empowering beliefs and make lasting changes, he brings in this idea, C&I.
C&I, yes, stands for constant and never-ending improvement. It's basically the Japanese concept of Kaizen. It's not about huge disruptive changes all at once. It's about small, gradual, consistent improvements, tiny gains that compound over time.
Like Pat Riley, the basketball coach.
Exactly. He got his team to focus on just a 1% improvement in 5 key areas. Didn't sound like much.
Yeah.
But he showed them how that compounded to make the team massively more effective, like 60% better, led them straight to a championship. Imagine applying that 1% focus in your business.
Sales, efficiency, customer service. Those small tweaks add up.
Massively.
And making those tweaks, sticking with sit-in, that requires focus, doesn't it? That's another part of the master system.
Absolutely. Focus is critical. What you consistently focus on becomes your reality. He uses the race car driver example.
Why, if you stare at the wall.
You hit the wall. You have to focus on the track, on where you want to go. An undirected mind plays tricks, but a directed mind is your most powerful tool, especially in the chaos of running a business.
So true. And the best way to direct that focus, he says, it's questions.
Yes. The quality of your life comes down to the quality of the questions you habitually ask yourself. Instead of asking, why am I so stressed? Or why is this failing?
Which just focuses you on the problem.
Exactly. Ask empowering questions like, how can I change my state right now to feel resourceful? Or what can I learn from this situation to make things better? It shifts your focus to solutions.
It accesses different resources in your mind. He mentions Trump shifting later from what's the most profitable deal to what can I enjoy owning? A different question leading to different choices.
A really interesting point about the questions we don't ask, too. Then there's transformational vocabulary.
The power of words.
Yeah. The specific words we use, often unconsciously, can either dial down or crank up our emotional intensity. He found himself changing words like furious to maybe a bit annoyed or peeved.
Well, it actually lessened the feeling.
Instantly. It's about consciously choosing words that describe your experience in a way that serves you, that pulls you towards resourcefulness, not despair.
So managing your internal dialogue.
Crucial. And finally, the 5th element, metaphors.
Right. The comparisons we use shape how we feel about things.
Totally. If your go-to metaphor for work is, I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders, well, guess how you're going to feel? Heavy. burdens.
If you'll embody it.
But if you consciously change it to something like, okay, time to set the world down for a bit and just move forward, your whole physical and emotional state can shift.
He mentions Martin Sheen after that near-death experience.
Yes, changing his metaphor for life from something to fear to an intriguing mystery, that reframes everything. How you approach challenges, opportunities, everything.
Beliefs, focus, questions, vocabulary, metaphors. That's the master system. Powerful stuff.
It really is. And he gives a practical framework for using this understanding to make real lasting change. Neuroassociative conditioning, or NAC, 6 steps.
Okay, let's break that down. Step 1.
Step 1, decide what you really want. Get crystal clear. Clarity is power, as he says. You need a target.
Makes sense. Step 2.
Step 2, get leverage. This is maybe the most critical part. You have to associate massive pain with not changing right now, and massive pleasure with the experience of changing right now.
Make it non-negotiable in your nervous system, like that slightly shocking Alpo diet example he gives.
Exactly. Making the pain of not changing utterly unbearable. That creates the driving force.
Okay. Step 3.
Interrupt the limiting pattern. You got to break the old habit, the old way of thinking or feeling, scramble the signal, like making the chocoholic eat only chocolate until he was disgusted. You need a pattern interrupt.
Right, shake things up. Step 4.
Create an empowering alternative. You can't just stop the old pattern. You need to replace it with something new and better, something that gives you the positive feelings you were seeking, but in a healthy way.
So instead of stress eating, maybe go for a run and brainstorm solutions.
Perfect example. Step 5.
Condition the new pattern. Reinforce it again and again, like training a muscle. Or Pavlov's dogs, really.
Yeah, reward yourself immediately for doing the new thing, and vary the rewards to keep it strong and interesting.
Condition it until it's automatic. And the last step.
Step 6. Test it. Put yourself in situations that used to trigger the old pattern and make sure the new one holds up. Prove to yourself that the change is real.
Decide, leverage, interrupt, alternative condition test, Danasy.
That's the framework. And it applies to everything: habits, emotions, relationships, business strategies.
And it helps turn those negative emotions, the action signals like fear or frustration,
Into calls for action, yeah. Using the emotions of power like curiosity, confidence, gratitude as the antidote. Reframing the challenge.
So it's not just about tools and techniques. It goes deeper, right, into values and rules.
Absolutely. Values are your compass. What's fundamentally important to you? Are you chasing means values, like money for its own sake?
Or end values like love, connection, growth, contribution. Knowing the difference is key for fulfillment.
Definitely. And then there are your rules. These are the unconscious beliefs about what has to happen for you to feel good or successful or loved.
And these rules can totally sabotage our happiness, can't they?
Oh, completely. He gives that great contrast. The guy who felt successful just waking up above ground
Yeah. Simple rule. Easy to feel good.
versus the millionaire who felt like a failure because his body fat was 9%, not his target of 8%.
Wow. Talk about setting yourself up for pain.
Exactly. Our rules wire us for pleasure or pain. The amazing thing is we can consciously change those rules to make it easier to feel good and harder to feel bad.
That's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And tied into all this is identity, who you believe you are.
The deepest level, if your identity is I'm a smoker, or I'm not good at managing money, or I'm a procrastinator.
You'll act in ways consistent with that identity, even if you consciously want to change.
Right. Lasting change often requires shifting your identity, deciding I am a healthy person, I am financially savvy, I am decisive.
You have to fuse with that new identity, consciously choose who you want to be and live into it.
And it's not fixed. He encourages us to keep expanding our identity, asking, are you the same person now as when you started exploring these ideas? Identity is a choice, constantly evolving.
We are spiritual beings having a human experience, that reframing.
Powerful perspective shift.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, the tools. He also touches on the more tangible aspects like our physical destiny.
Yeah, he emphasizes vitality, training your metabolism, understanding aerobic versus anaerobic exercise for fat burning and power.
That Stu Middleman story, running 1,000 miles, shows what an aerobically fit body can do.
Incredible endurance. And simple things like getting enough sleep, 6-7 hours, consistent movement, it all fuels your energy, your decision-making, your resilience. It's foundational.
You need the physical energy to implement all this mental and emotional work.
Absolutely. And that physical energy supports building your financial destiny.
Right. He talks about economic alchemy.
Yeah, transforming something common into something valuable, like sand into silicon for computer chips. Creating value is key.
It's not just about money, it's about creating value, creating jobs.
And the practical side, spend less than you earn, invest the difference, compounding, building that critical mass.
But the ultimate goal isn't just piling up cash, is it?
No, that's crucial. The ultimate goal, he argues, is contribution, using your resources to make a difference.
Which leads perfectly into having a magnificent obsession, creating a compelling future and contribution roles.
Exactly. Moving beyond just making a living to actually designing a life.
Yeah.
Setting goals that stretch you, that pull you forward.
Like O.J. Simpson overcoming rickets because he had that powerful goal. The why behind the goal provides the how.
The compelling reasons fuel the drive. But then there's the question, what happens after you hit the big goal?
The is that all there is feeling, outrunning the dream.
Yeah. And that's where contribution comes in again as the ultimate source of fulfillment. People like Robin Williams helping the homeless, or Schwarzenegger with the Special Olympics.
They're found lasting purpose beyond their own success.
Giving back provides that deeper meaning that simple achievement often doesn't. It's about significance, not just success.
So bringing this all together for, the entrepreneurs, the leaders listening, what are the core actionable takeaways? First, really master your decisions. Be committed, not just interested. Focus on what empowers you, decide what things mean in a useful way, and take purposeful action.
Yeah. And second, consciously leverage pain and pleasure. Link pain to the stuff that holds you back and massive pleasure to the actions that move you forward. Make it automatic.
Third, embrace C&I, constant and never-ending improvement. Small, consistent steps in your business, in your life, they compound massively.
Fourth, actively harness your master system. Watch your beliefs, direct your focus with better questions, upgrade your vocabulary, choose empowering metaphors, be the architect of your internal world.
Fifth, redesign your values and rules. Know what truly matters, and values, and create rules that make it easy to feel resourceful and successful, not hard.
And sixth, forge a powerful identity. Decide who you need to be to achieve your goals and live your values. Step into that identity fully. Don't let old labels define you.
And finally, seventh, prioritize vitality and contribution. Your physical health fuels everything, and building financial strength isn't just for you, it's to empower you to make a bigger difference.
Absolutely. It all comes back to that core message. Knowing what to do is not enough. You must do what you know. It's about massive action, consistent application. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. What one small decision, just one, could you commit to making consistently starting today that you know would fundamentally shape the next 5 years of your life and your business for the better?
That's a powerful question to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Awaken the Giant Within. If these ideas spark something for you and you want to keep exploring ways to transform your business and life, definitely subscribe to the Business Book Club. We've got more deep dives coming your way. Until next time, keep learning, keep applying, keep growing. Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.